Yo, what's up guys, Walking here, and today I'm going to be doing a Deepwoken bell tier list, including all corrupted variants of every bell, and also including Skeleton Key, because that just came out too. Anyways, enough yapping, let's just jump straight into the video. Starting off with Blood Scourge, more commonly known as Reaper Bell, this bell is very consistent for regenerating health, especially in a short period of time. The only downside, I guess you can say, is you have to be actually good and knock someone before you can utilize the bell. Otherwise, you're basically bell-less. The bell can also be countered with things like All the Dead Gods or Preservation Bell, but despite that, I'm going to be placing Blood Scourge at A tier, and to be honest, I'll be placing the corrupted variant of Blood Scourge into B tier, because sending people to the depths is a cool concept, but Void Spires exist, and also the charge time is really long, and people can just leave the game too, so yeah. Crazy slots. This bell is okay because a majority of the time you won't be getting the right weapon and you'll need to continue cycling through the arsenal, which is hard to do if you're in a gank especially. The abilities are alright and are good for movement or running away, but don't do as much damage. It's good for PvE though, so I'm going to place it in B tier. The corrupted variant is A tier because the buff it gets have this cooldown after using a weapon's ability, making it really easy to cycle through the weapons and get the one that's useful in PvP and especially PvE. Kamui is very strong because you're able to travel the map very quickly and also reach places that are really high up, as Kamui always teleports you to the highest area you're standing on the Y-axis. It's good for depth ganking and is overall really helpful and drippy too, so I'm going to put it in A tier. The corrupted variant on the other hand is way stronger, and I'm going to put it into S tier. This bell converts more steps in the realm to steps in the overworld, allowing you to travel longer distances quicker, and most importantly, allows you to use the bell in combat. This allows you to bell out if you're getting jumped and basically justifies the S tier rating. Now, Gravity Field on its own is pretty weak. All it does is prevent your opponent from running, but with specific builds, it can get really strong. Think of things like Grand Sudaruska Eruption. With an insane crit that only works close range, Gravity Field helps close the distance and allows for combos despite having Eruption Path, because they get bounced back inside from the field. This bell is good, but only when you have a specific build, to be honest, and not as generally helpful as Reaper in most cases. So I'm going to put Gravity Field in B tier. The corrupted variant is also going in B tier because it makes it so the user doesn't feel the effects of the Gravity Field, but also the duration is halved, so it gets a benefit and a negative, which justifies the same tier placement. Now, I might get hate on me for this, but Jar of Souls is going into A tier. This bell is incredibly strong. It does a lot of damage, you can use it without any souls, and you can use it to crit people if it's charged. Even in verse 1, this bell was really strong, being able to one combo people with it with the Summon Cauldron Extend. The corrupted variant isn't anything special, just gives extra strength distribution to the bell's variables like damage, CD, etc. The corrupted buff isn't substantial, so I'm going to put it in A tier along with the regular version, just slightly ahead of it. Counterbell is very strong for ganks and PvE, but it honestly depends on what variant or build you're using. It's good for heavy builds because you're able to do things you would usually get punished for with your slow ones. Just the bell relies on what variant you get, as the beam variants are honestly pretty weak, and the only good one is the one that does true damage back to your opponent immediately when they hit you. I'm going to put Payback in C tier because of this. Corrupted Payback is top of B tier because the enemies who hit the counter heal you, but this could potentially be counterproductive. Ha, pun. Okay, but really, this bell could be counterproductive if you have fire or damage variant, as if they don't hit your counter, you would just take damage for free. In PvE though, this bell is really strong, especially in the Diluvian mechanism. Portal's bell is really only seen in PvE, but the thing is, speed or iframes aren't as important anymore because people are more attuned to things like Layer 2 and Diluvian mechanism, so they don't have to rely on iframes as much, opting for more damage or instant bells. This bell is going into C tier because of that. Corrupted Portals going into top of B tier along with Corrupted Payback because the bell receives a speed boost and a duration boost, as well as having the trait to carry people and cast the bell at the same time, allowing you to save your teammates if they're getting jumped. Only reason it's not A tier is because the amount of things that can insta-grip in this game, or shit like Preservation Bell. It's good, but it's pretty situational. This bell is basically the anti-Reaper. It used to be shit now, but Preservation is now prioritized over all Instagram methods, so it actually works now. The normal variant, okay, despite glazing it, it's still really bad. The person fighting you, all they have to do is hit the bubble once and the person falls. Then you just Reaper or Deado proc until they're done. This bell is going into D tier. It's so shit. I honestly forgot it existed because I haven't seen anyone use it in game ever. Not even a joke. The corrupted version is an upgrade slightly as the bubble can parry attacks, kind of like Duke's shield, but it only has like 3 hits before they drop. If you want a support bell, get res. Corrupted preservation is C tier because it's only slightly better. Anyways, speaking of res bell, this bell is going into B tier. If used in ganks, it can be really helpful. When fighting people, you can just pop res bell and they won't attack you for a while, so it's still useful at high health because it's kind of like counter in that sense where they won't attack you. If you're low and you pop res bell, you can ask a friend to knock you and you can come back with 2 bars, which is a nice boost, and you're also able to use it on your guildmates. Corrupted variant has no special effects except changing some variables like range, duration, cooldown, etc. and if the person is teleported back to you after resurrection. So corrupted variant is going above regular resurrection in the same tier because the differences aren't as substantial. So think of it as like a B+. Yo, ad break guys, my bad. So y'all blew up the last video. Thank you guys so much for getting that shit to like 25k views. It's actually crazy. But let me show y'all something. 99% of y'all are not subbed. Yes, you heard that right. Literally 99% of you guys are not subbed. So if you love the content, drop a sub. All right. Yo, you in the back, you too, drop a sub, okay, right now. Okay, let's get back to the tier list. Run it back is so damn annoying, bro. The cooldown is so short for some reason, and the duration is so long too. I think everyone knows what the bell does already. I'm just gonna put it into A tier. The iframes are good for PvP and PvE. The corrupted variant, though, that is going into S tier. Okay, hear me out. Let me tell you why. Upon using this bell, you get hyper armor for all your moves, everything you do for 5 seconds. That doesn't sound like a lot, but think of it like this. You can be getting hit and mid-hit, pop prediction, equalizer, sky shadow kick while you're getting hit, eclipse kick, anything really. Also, the damage taken is erased when the bell ends, including the bell's downside effects for corrupted variant, like burn or just straight damage. This bell is pretty reliable for combos. Upon using it, you shoot an explosive crystal from your bow that does pretty good damage. This is because the arrow being shot actually has 100% pen, which is pretty surprising, and it helps against tankier, more resistant stacking builds. I'm going to put the regular version behind Jar of Souls, but the corrupted variant of Shardbow is going to go above a corrupted Jar of Souls and regular. Into A tier. This is because the Shardbow bell is corrupted, it does double posture damage, and the hits apply white flames which scale off your intelligence slot, while also launching you further back to avoid getting punished. Also, apparently, not sure if this is true, but it does more damage if you have reserve flames according to the wiki. So this bell is A tier because of that. Pretty good combat bell. By the way, single shot is the better variant. Do not add me. This bell is already going into B tier. It's pretty good for hell mode and delivering mechanism, but getting the right variant is really fucking annoying, as so much shit can change. There's barely any static stats for it. So the corrupted variant is also going into A tier as the increase of resonance points lets you get higher resistances, and the corrupted effect of the sacred field following you around is really good and helps with that they're on. It's one of the go-to meta bells for PvE along with crazy slots. This bell is another projectile bell similar to Shardbow and Jar of Souls. This bell is pretty good as similar to Shardbow, it does true damage. I think the regular orbs do 20 damage, which if we're talking about 100% true, 100% pen damage, it's pretty good. And the corrupted ones do like 25. The bell is going into B tier, and the corrupted one gets pretty good buffs like increased damage and auto aim, as well as summoning more orbs on you, so it's going to go into A tier. This is the running away bell. It's okay for PvP and PvE, as in PvP you can easily run away, and in PvE it de-aggroes mobs, but honestly there's nothing really special to it. I kind of wish it was like, okay, don't hate on me for this comparison, but in ABA, when you use Zombies' Mist Smokescreen, when you M1 it cancels the invisibility, but the damage is doubled. It gives it combat utility, giving you a damage boost for landing sneaky combos, but the one in Deep doesn't really do much. This is going to go into C tier, as at least you can use it for de-aggroing mobs. The corrupted variant is slightly above it, still going into C tier. It spawns 3 smoke screens and allows you to teleport between them. It's not that useful, as 1 smoke screen is good enough, so the extra ones don't really get that much usage. This bell is immediately going into A tier. The use for this bell is basically infinite. You're able to put waypoints anywhere and even on people. You can even put a waypoint above a whirlpool to send someone to the depths if they get caught in your TP. It's incredibly helpful for ganks and PvE too. You're able to put waypoints in the depths like at Trial, Castle Light, or the Helmut Bell. The Corrupted variant is way stronger, allowing you to put more points and also having preset gate locations at certain places that never expire. If you didn't know, the preset points was a pretty recent change, and you can watch Agamatsu's video if you're still confused on it. Anyways, Corrupted TP because of this is going to go into S tier. Windup is a pretty mid bell, to be honest, and this is the only bell in my opinion, well, one of the, where the Corrupted variant is much worse than the base one. On use, you can charge up your M1 to do extra damage and extra posture damage, which can still be parried by the way. On 5 uses, you get max charge with regular variant, and with the Corrupted variant, you get max charges with 3. But honestly, it's not worth the downside that Corrupted bells give. I'm going to give Corrupted Windup D tier and normal Windup C tier just because of that. So Skeleton Key hasn't been in the game for a long time, so don't expect a super accurate review, but I think this bell is going to just go into C tier. The walls are breakable and you can just go around the walls most of the time, but in Ganks and Void Eye, it's pretty good as you're able to block off certain pathways and hallways. Skeleton Key Corrupted just adds spikes to the wall, which don't really do much, they barely do any damage, and the wall is still breakable. It's still not that helpful. I think the Corrupted variant is equal because the downside is kind of equal to the upside as they both barely do anything, so it kind of cancels each other out. So just go for either Corrupted or not, it's basically the same thing. Anyways guys, that was the ultimate bell tier list. Comment down below what your favorite bell is, and make sure to check the description if you want to join the Discord. It's there and it's also on screen. I always look at video suggestions posted in there. If you like the content, show me some love by subscribing, and yeah, peace out and I'll see you guys later.